Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen for Honeybee Stamps, and in today's video we are going to be creating a rainbow shaped card. I'm going to start by creating the card base, which is using the Rainbow Builder A2 card base honey cut. So I'm die cutting this from some white cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8.5, and this trims out the perfect rainbow base, including the score line, so that you can just fold this in half to create your rainbow shaped card. The builder die also does these scored lines on the top of your card base so you know where to line up your rainbow. Now I'm taking the rainbow accent, and this is going to cut the large bands of the rainbow. Now if you save this piece that you die cut out your rainbow bands from, you could turn that into a shaker card and get a 2-for-1 out of this. Now I'm going to color my rainbow, so you could have die cut all of these from colored cardstock and have a lot of extra pieces left over. I just went for an 80-pound white cardstock, and then I can color my rainbow bands or the rays however or whatever color I want. I'm going to start with picked raspberry, and these are all in the distress inks. Now I'm going to come in with dried marigold. I am working on a waffle flower stencil mat so that my pieces don't slide all over my glass mat, and just applying that ink using a foam blending tool. Now on most of my pieces, I'm going to start from the inside of the rainbow and blend out because I can get a darker shade on the inside of the rainbow, and then as I blend out, get lighter. It was a little tricky to do with squeezed lemonade here because it is such a very bright color, but when I want to do light, I'm just going to go in very light-handed. Now, even with going light-handed, the squeezed lemonade was still just a little bit too bright. So to add that little bit of shading, I'm going to bring in my previous blending tool from the dried marigold and just coming in from the inside of that ray and add just a smidge of that orange. Then I'm going to come in with Twisted Citron. Now, each time in between each color, I am wiping down my stencil mat just with some water and a paper towel, just so I don't cross-contaminate the colors. I want to make sure that they're true to their color. So for my Twisted Citron, it's going to be this beautiful, bright, vibrant green. And then for my blue, I'm going to use Salvaged Patina. And that stencil mat really does help kind of hold things in place while I get this ink blending done. So after I have my rainbow all nice and colored, I'm going to bring in that card base and just show you how these each line up. So there are those little score lines on there that shows you exactly where each one of these goes. There's also going to be a skinny white line that shows up in between those rainbow bands. I'm going to pull out this other die from the Rainbow Accents die set that's going to cut out those skinny strips for in the middle. You could leave them white, but I thought it would look really pretty to have this pretty sparkle in the background. So I die cut out those strips, and then I'm attaching them over that kind of embossed area. It's not really embossed, but you're seeing the etching of that line. And I'm just attaching each of those with some liquid glue. I also think this would look really pretty if you left it even just like this with those skinny lines. It's the things you see after you complete your card that would make another great additional card. Once I have all those skinny bands on there, I'm going to go through each of my colored rainbow bands, and I am going to add thin pieces of foam behind each one of those bands. Now this may seem a little time consuming or tedious, but this card is really coming together very easy. So to me, doing this isn't really that much work. Now to add those strips, I have some Scotch foam tape that I'm trimming down into thin strips to fit behind my rainbow. And I'm removing the backing on both sides. That's going to allow me to curve this around those arches. So as I finish up adding foam tape behind each of these bands, I like to use my tweezers to kind of help pick it up and place it over the area that it fits into. So now we have all of these bands of the rainbow popped up, and then we have that really pretty glitter paper in between. If you already have some pre-cut thin foam strips, that would work amazing. It's a lot easier than trying to trim your foam tape down into thin strips, but this is what I had at the time, so I made it work. There are a variety of sentiments that you add to the front of this card. Anything really would work. Happy birthday or anniversary, just really anything. Honeybee Stamps does have a rainbow sentiment stamp set that is adorable that I've already used in a previous card. Since I'm still working on some thank you cards for teachers, I'm going to use this Thinking of You Big Time stamp set, and I'm stamping the large thank you in intense black ink on white cardstock. Once I stamp that down twice, I can use the coordinating die to die cut it out, and it gives me 2 pieces for my sentiment here. I also die cut out some clouds using some white cardstock, and I'm just going to attach that to the bottom of my card using a tape runner. And I'm also going to attach the thank you with my tape runner as well. And I'm going to put it just kind of down kitty corner in the bottom of my card. Now in the picture, you might notice I added some embellishments. So after I kind of sat and played with the card and looked at it, I decided to add some clear gems to my cards and also some highlights to the arches with a white gel pen. And that's going to finish up my rainbow shaped card. This was so quick and easy to put together. I can customize the color of my arches, and it was just really adorable and fun to do. All of the supplies will be listed down below in the video description. Thank you so much for joining me today, and see you again soon. Here are a few other videos I think you might enjoy.